Alright, now I ain't gonna lie. I'm recording this video right after, I don't know if it's gonna be my last one, but right after another video where I was talking about my little cousin. And I said in that video what I feel the true definition of being a man is. But I wanna elaborate on that a little bit more. You feel me? So for those of y'all who are new, I don't got no scripts. All of this is just organic. It's just me speaking my mind, speaking from the heart, right? So boom. For those of you who haven't watched that last video, what I feel a true man is a man who can adapt to any situation. He can become whatever it is he needs to be, wherever he needs to be it, and for whoever he needs to be it for. Right? I'm gonna break this down bit by bit. You feel me? So stay with me, stay with me. All I ask is a little bit of your time. You feel me? We gonna get through this, and I pray that maybe you can learn something from this. But boom. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. So look, when it comes to, I'ma just say being an adult, right? Because I don't want to say being a man, because I feel like this goes for both men and women. But for being an adult, and for being, in my situation, someone who is often sought out after for advice and things like that. You know, people do, for a few years now, people have tended to come to me for advice and wisdom and knowledge and, you know, just things, right? Really just my insight. And, you know, I have always been very grateful. And I've loved being able to do that for people, being able to help people and be there for people, because I didn't have no one to be there for me when I was growing up, right? So to, I guess, stop other people from having to feel that same pain of being alone, it makes me feel good, right? I ain't gonna lie. But in being there for people for since I was like 15, so it's almost 5 years now. I'd say like about 4 years I've been helping people and stuff. And I've realized that one of the biggest things that I've missed out on is enjoyable conversations. Now, don't get me wrong. I 100% enjoy helping people out and listening to people talk about their problems and giving the people that safe space to vent and, you know, maybe being able to provide someone to help them. I love that. Let's get out the way. What I'm talking about is the small conversations, the silly ones, the stupid topics, the random moments, the, you know, out the blue questions. I started to view them as if they're pointless, right? And some people might say, well, they are, right? And some people might be like, how could you do that? This is just my experience, okay? But what I've recently remembered is those small and silly things that seem so insignificant are so important when it comes to having a true bond with somebody, right? Because there are some people who need someone like me, right? Where they need someone who can sit there and listen to them talk and vent about their problems and let it all out, right? There's some people who do need that and benefit from that. But not everyone do. And that's kind of what I've been forgetting is not everyone benefits from, I guess, being lectured and being told how to fix a problem. Not everyone benefits from just venting their problem. Some people don't need a vent and they don't need lectured. They simply just need someone to take their mind off of things, to make things entertaining. You feel me? Almost like a distraction. And that's what I've realized is I've been missing out on. Is I haven't been able to fill that role of, I guess, taking people's minds off it And for some people, I can, obviously, like my homeboy and things like that. But for like random people, I would see that's pointless. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't. But then like, it sounds crazy saying it because it sounds so selfish. At least to me, it do. You feel me? Now, I know that was a little bit all over the place, but I take all that to say, learning to fit those roles is truly how you help people. I think being an adult is being able to provide and protect and love, make other people feel loved, no matter what the situation is. Being an adult is being able to take care of not just yourself, but the people around you when need be. And I think the only way for us to really be able to do that, to truly fulfill that role of being an adult, is by teaching ourselves to adapt. By putting ourselves in different and honestly difficult situations. By putting us in things that make us uncomfortable. Making us be like, oh, like, I don't really want to be here right now with this person. But to sit through it anyway. And to learn how to vibe with that person. Like, something that I used to do is I would go out on walks. Right? Now, there's this part a few blocks down from my crib. Right? It's this really nice park. And I would go out for a walk. And while I'm walking, my goal would be to say something, at least one thing, to every single person that I walk by. Right? So, I'd go out, and let's say I'm walking for like an hour or something. It normally take like 30 minutes to do one lap. I normally did like 2, then I walked back. Right? While I'd be walking, I'd run into all types of people. There's people that's out there jogging, people out there that's, track practice, students. It's people walking their dogs, it's elderly people, it's kids, it's mothers, fathers, people my age, right? All types of people. And something that I really benefited from is while I'm talking to all these different people, it's like I was able to fit in with each person. Like, it was teaching me how to, I guess, match people's energy. Right? I feel like that's such an important key. But I'm gonna get to that in a sec. So I remember there was this one elderly, this senior dude, right? And he was walking his dog. And, I was walking. I said, "What's going on, man? How you doing?" And, he said, "Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?" I said, "Man, I'm doing good." And now I seen his dog. His dog, I ain't gonna lie, his dog was like a fluffy beanbag, right? Like, this dude, I'm saying this dude was big. It might have been a girl. I don't know. The dog was big though. Like, I'm talking, if I had to like measure it lengthwise, it had to have been like 6 foot. No cap. Big as hell and fluffy. Like, fluffy like a cloud, bro. Man, I'm like, yo, your dog mad fluffy. What kind of dog is that? And he's, telling me about the dog and things like that. And while we sitting here, just having small talk and things, this other person, I think he might have been like my age. He was probably like mid-20s, right? So not my age, but like, he younger. He comes running by, and he comes in with this whole different vibe. Like, not in no negative way, but just like, the dude I was talking to was more like chill and laid back. And this other dude who was like closer to my age comes by, and he's like super energized. I don't know if it's because he was running or what, but he comes by and he's like, goofing off or whatever, right? And in that moment, I, like, looking back on it, I was able to match both of their energies, both relaxed and also like goofy and outgoing at the same time with 2 different people. And I feel like being able to do that, being able to match people's energy in that way is such an important skill. I feel like that's so important to be able to fit in with those who aren't really much like you. And it's simply by embodying how they are. Now, let's not dive too deep into that, right? Because when I say embodying how they are, there's something that you should be very cautious of. And it's that not all people should you try to fit in with. Like, let me put a big emphasis on that. I'll say it again. Not all people that you meet should you try to match their energy. Okay? Now, the reason I say that, for those of you who don't put the pieces together, you feel me? Some people aren't the best examples. And if there's something you are striving for, some people will kind of put you off of that path. Right? Like, for example, if you are trying to be a nice person and you are surrounded and you run into like some toxic people, I wouldn't suggest that in order to fit in with them toxic people that you start talking crazy with them too, telling people to hurt themselves, and that's not what I mean. I mean to bring, when I say embody someone, embody the energy. Not the toxic things that they're saying, but the energy they're bringing. If people are being toxic, okay, why are they being toxic? 9 times out of 10, it's for entertainment. If they're being toxic for entertainment, then find a way to be entertaining that's true to yourself, right? If they're being just chilled and laid back, and you're not normally a chilled and laid back person, well, find a way to be a little bit more calmer while staying true to yourself. I think the key to matching someone's energy is by mixing in your own. And I'm saying that from experience because as a person pleaser or a people pleaser, I don't know the right word for it or the right description, but as someone who's always trying to please others, growing up, I didn't know who I was because I just matched everyone else. Like, I just tried to fit in with everyone else, that I didn't have no true identity. But I've realized now that I'm older and I've had years and, time to experience it and think about it, that it's not about fitting in, is not about being just like someone else. It's about incorporating who you are with what would also be enjoyable to them.
Yo, can we talk about it, bro?
But I don't know. I just feel like, I feel like that's something that's really important. And again, it all comes back to when you're an adult. It's skills like that where you can fit into all these different crowds and things like that. I feel like that's when you can truly help the most people. That's when you can truly have the most positive memories. If you want to be that person that when people think about them, they're like, oh yeah, that person, it's always a good time when I'm around them. If you want to be that person, I think that's a skill that you should try to incorporate. You feel me? But alright, y'all, that's it for this one. If y'all made it to this end, I appreciate you. Show y'all support if y'all want to, of course. But alright, y'all have an amazing day. God bless y'all.